Is this thing on? Are we rolling? No, I'm literally sitting in my office alone. Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 1 of Keeping Up with Kenyarn. I am Jake Kenyon, the owner of KENYarn, a hand-dyed yarn company, and I am so excited to be here chatting with you. Keeping Up with Kenyarn is a monthly podcast all about everything KENYarn, new products, new whips, you name it, fiber related, we're gonna cover it. This year, Keeping Up with KENYarn is featuring some amazing interviews from makers with the community, as well as footage from a lot of traveling I'll be doing in the upcoming year to local yarn shops around the US. Honestly, it's been a really long time since I wanted to start a podcast, and I finally felt like it was the time to do it. 2021 was, leading into 2022, just a really tough year. This year I went back to work part-time, just while I was sort of like understanding the market better, understanding, workflow better for myself. But I will be returning to KENYarn full-time as of December 1st. So that is very, very exciting. This podcast is meant to sort of be like a behind the scenes and kind of like open and honest, and I'll probably get into my feels sometimes, but I think that that's great when it's just sprinkled over the humor. Okay, I'm gonna start with a little incense in my little incense pot, courtesy of Alex from Alex Creates. I bought this years ago, and it is my absolute favorite way to burn incense cones. I'm the owner of KENYarn LLC. Yes, KENYarn is a play on my last name, Kenyon. My name is not Ken. A lot of people call me Ken, but I'm really trying to make people more aware of my actual name, right? So a little bit about me. I grew up in Massachusetts, went to school for undergrad and graduate school in New Hampshire, and that is where I first picked up a crochet hook. I actually started by hand crocheting items to sell to my classmates, and eventually once I had left grad school and I had started seeing people dyeing their own yarn on Instagram, that's how I got started. So I think in 2017, KENYarn's website went live. Honestly, the dates are all so foggy, but the website went live and I posted my first 5 colorways ever, which led me to yarn dyeing, which finally led me to knitting. I opened my business in around 2017. That's when I first launched the website. And since then, I've been working on and off, full-time, part-time at KENYarn. When I first started the business, I was also working as a speech-language pathologist. And yeah, I'm actually returning to KENYarn full-time as of December 1st, which is really, really exciting. So I thought I would start by sharing some of my latest whips, and also kind of showing a new pattern that I have coming up. Okay, so let's do a little show and tell. Okay, first up is my version of the Juniper Cowl by TL Yarn Crafts. Tony designed this cowl. It's top down in the round, and it's made with this adorable puff stitch. I used hedgehog fiber minis to create mine. I wore this to Cake Palooza at Rhinebeck this year, and people were like, goo goo gaga. It's just really, really bright and really, really fun. Also, it uses a lot of yarn, and I really appreciate that about this pattern because it's not only wearable, it also is a great stash buster. Like, I know how many of us have like, you know, like those one-off fingering skeins, and if you can create like a fun little stripe situation or a fade, I highly recommend this pattern. It's also super beginner friendly. Honestly, like even as a beginner crocheter, I don't think you would have trouble with this. For my latest collection, the charcuterie collection, inspired by all things charcuterie, cheese, wine, fruit, chocolate, which you can see over on my Instagram grid, I used the mini sets from those to crochet up the triangular shawl wrap from Noro. This is a free pattern on their website, and you can use any weight of yarn. Just find a hook size that you really love. Yeah, and it's perfect. It's small enough where it's not like hanging or getting in your way, but it's really great. And I just love that it's like, again, like a really good like palette sampler. These are all of the colorways from the charcuterie collection, kind of all done up into one. I also, when I was at Rhinebeck, I wore this on the second day. I actually wore this one over my back because I use one of Kenyarn's resin shawl rings. So this is our colorway Snowflake in our flower power shape shawl ring. And what you're able to do is just thread the ends through. Oops, I always do this wrong. Thread the ends through, and then you can actually just sort of adjust the piece to wherever you want it, and your shawl will not move. I did it kind of like up here on the corner during the day, but once it's in position, it never moves. These shawl rings are available at KenYarn.com. We have monthly updates. And again, this is our Snowflake colorway, which is like this really pretty, shimmery, iridescent kind of look that's really like simple. It matches with everything. So in addition to the shawl rings, which come in the flower power shape and the circular shape, we also have a brand new line of buttons. I went through a lot of work to find button molds for my resin buttons that I really, really loved. And they didn't hold up the way I wanted to. So whatever buttons listed on the website right now, any of the buttons you see with like a lip on the edge, those are our old design. But we have since got new button molds custom made in like some really, really, really fun shapes, which I'm very, very excited about sharing with you all. But yeah, we also sell hand poured resin bookmarks, and occasionally I like to put in there, what are they called? Like a plant propagation station. With my leftover resin, I'll sometimes pour those so that you can like propagate plants in something that's sparkly and shiny. So that's really fun. Resin has been a really, really cool opportunity for me to express creativity in a way that's like similar to yarn dyeing, where I'm like creating colorways kind of and recipes with the resin, but also not be dyeing yarn, which I think is important. Anyone listening to the podcast who runs, like a handcrafted business knows the feeling of like, or like knows the importance of having a hobby outside of what we do, even if it's similar, or, it just really, really helps sort of like bring you back down to ground level and helps you like step out of your mind a little bit. At least for me, it does. I really, really enjoy working with resin. It's very fun. I love the learning process. And now the fact that I can produce like really functional items for knitters and crocheters is just like really, really cool. And I'm not sure when this podcast is releasing, but we do frequently update our resin stock, usually about once a month. I do a huge drop, but I think there's still some of our older buttons on the website if you're interested in those. So the next pattern that I wanted to show you was a new upcoming design from Lion Brand Yarn. This pattern goes live on November 25th, and it uses 6 different colors of the Color Theory yarn designed by my very good friend Alexi of Two of Wands. This is called the Stained Glass Scarf, and it is knit separately in 2 different panels with different size stripes to create kind of this like geometric look. Each side has a right side and a wrong side facing, and it is seamed together with slip stitches. I have to say, I designed this to be sort of like a really good palette for the Color Theory yarns, because the truth about the Color Theory line from Lion Brand is that Alexi designed it in a way so that even some of like the craziest color combinations just end up working together. As you can tell, there are, you use each different color fades through at least 2 sections on either side. But yeah, so one end sort of has this diamond shaped tip right here, and the other end has sort of this ribbon shape, right? It is knit on the bias, and this is honestly just like the perfect winter scarf. It's the perfect size for just tucking under a jacket. I love it, and honestly it's customizable. If you wanted to make it bigger, you could. If you wanted to make it smaller, you also could do that. But keep an eye out for that at lionbrand.com. I absolutely love the stripes, and this uses the colorways Bee Pollen, Canyon, Amethyst, Provence, Admiral, and Himalayan Salt, which is the pink. I'm sure it's behind my head. Yeah, it is right here. So yeah, so keep your eye out for that pattern. It's on its way. It's going to be so much fun. It also took me like no time at all to knit up. It's 30 stitches wide, knit on the bias, so you're cruising through it. So as most of you know, every fall I visit Rhinebeck, New York to attend the New York Sheep and Wool Festival. This fall was no different. I had so much fun. I stayed with such an awesome group of friends. My partner came along with us. We met up with Tony from TL Yarn Crafts and her mom, and we just had a really, really good time. This was the first year that I ever did Cake Palooza, which was really, really great. It was just like such a good event. It was the perfect size. It didn't feel crowded. And I thought that the best part about it was that it had like a really, really great mix of dyers that you see a lot, like, some bigger names. And then it had a lot of dyers who I had never met. And I loved getting to explore everybody's stuff. They had like that mobile yarn truck. They had my friend from Suburban Stitcher, Labby and Ami had a table there. Chelsea Lux had a table there. It was a really good time. So here's some footage from Cake Palooza. We're at Cake Palooza. So first, when I was at KUWK, I went there for a lot of reasons, but one of the main reasons was this. This is one of the Laveau bags from my friend Shayla at Black Pearl Magic. She hand sews these. Mine has this gorgeous rainbow zipper all along the edge. She finally came out with yellow vinyl, and I obviously had to have it. I am so obsessed with these bags. If you have not purchased one, or have been on the fence about purchasing one, I recommend it. Yeah, I love that I can see what's in it all the time. It is the perfect size for a shawl. I'm a huge shawl knitter, so this is like ideal. And it's also really easy to clean. You can just like wipe the outside. But yeah, it's so awesome. So much fun. Love it. So after KUWK, the group of us went to Woolen Folk, which is an outdoor festival the day before the actual fairgrounds open up. And I believe that it was hosted at Hudson Brickyard in Hudson, New York. Yeah. It was so awesome. Live music, a lot of vendors. I will say there were a lot of people, but it was so much fun. I got to see so many familiar faces. And I mean, it was just a really like beautiful venue. Like honestly, if you've never been and you want to go to one of the like day events before the festival, I highly recommend either of them, honestly. But that venue for Woolen Folk on the water with the open air concept, it was really, really beautiful. And so here's some footage from Woolen Folk. Oh, whoops. Oh, we're on camera. Hello from Woolen Folk, not cheap in wool.
Chauffeur me around.
And of course, the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, Saturday morning, the whole house got in the car and headed to the fairgrounds. It was really, really, really busy at the festival this year. I will say that it was a lot busier than other years. So many folks. And you know, if you've ever been to New York Sheep and Wool, it feels like there isn't a ton of change year to year. And so I guess my hot take, you know, after this year was sort of that, was that I think that there is room for the New York Sheep and Wool Festival to organize that like center food area better. Leaving the festival, it was sort of like, you know, the organization, like the layout hasn't changed in like years, but I think that they're not really like growing the event with the amount of people that show up, which is definitely causing some like major foot traffic. I'm sure most of you can agree. But the festival was so fun. I got so many goodies throughout the weekend, but I tried to be like really conscious of what I was purchasing, like start to finish. You know, like I need, you know, more yarn, like I need a nail in the toe. But yeah, I got some really cool stuff. Every year at New York Sheep and Wool, everyone is always dressed to the nines. I wore my triangular Noro shawl when I was walking around there, but I was so impressed by how many gorgeous garments I saw. The sweaters are like seriously incredible. There's so much to admire about everyone's like individual like hand knit vibe or aesthetic. And I feel like I haven't really found mine yet, but I think that the more I the more I knit, the more I make, I think that I do lean towards certain colors and like certain construction types of things. But it was so impressive to see like the breadth of creativity at that festival. And so here are some clips from interviews that I did while I was walking around. Love that. Okay, tell us your name.
My name's Alexi Tavel. My brand is Two of Wands.
And what are you wearing?
I'm wearing my Coast to Coast wrap, which is a very large, oversized kind of blanket scarf, worked up in mosaic knitting in lots of different colors.
And what are you most looking forward to today?
Well, I already hit up the cider donuts, so that was stop number one. And I just love coming to get to see everyone. I mean, I rarely actually buy anything, to be honest, but it's so fun to meet up with friends that, you know, you talk to on Instagram and stuff all the time, but you don't get to see in person that often. So, like you.
Woo! Okay, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Katie.
And what is your Instagram handle, Katie?
I think it's just Katie Radajak. It's long and Polish.
Love that. And what are you wearing today?
So this is the Felix sweater, and this is Miss Babs Yowza.
Ooh, I love that. And where are you coming from?
Texas, so north of Houston.
Nice.
Yes.
And what is the one thing you're most looking forward to today?
Just spending time with family. So after we do all of our shopping, just going back, kind of winding things up, getting some projects and sitting down and knitting.
Awesome. So introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kristen, Blackbeard Knits on Instagram.
And what are you wearing, Kristen?
I'm wearing this stratified sweater by Tiff Nealon. It's in La Bien Amie's book, and it's all in KUWK, except for one yarn.
Woo!
From the Seven Sisters, from the Seven Wonders collection.
Cool.
From Halloween a couple years ago. All my favorite colors, and I might have stocked up on a few sweater quantities, maybe.
Okay, everyone, introduce yourselves and your Instagram handle.
I'm Nadine Diva Knits out of Bethel, Connecticut.
Love it.
I'm Carrie, the Wandering Yarnie out of Scranton, Pennsylvania.
And what are you both most excited about today?
Fellowship of Friends.
Woo!
Oh yes, the friends and all of the fiber.
Yes.
And food.
The yarn.
Pet animals.
No.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, introduce yourself and your Instagram handle.
Okay, hi everyone, my name is Vincent. I'm the heart and hands behind all things Vesuvio's Crafts, and that's at VISUVIOS_crafts.
Awesome, where are you coming from?
I drove all the way up from outside of Atlanta. I normally say Atlanta, but east of Atlanta, so that's where I came from, and I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, and what are you most looking forward to today?
Staying under budget and getting a little bit of yarn.
Nice. Okay, introduce yourself and your Instagram handle.
Hi, I'm Casey. My Instagram handle is Casey Knits, KACEYKNITS.
Awesome, and where are you coming from today?
I'm visiting from Pleasanton, California.
Woo! And what is the one thing that you are most excited for?
I am most excited for hugging my friends that I know through Instagram and seeing everybody and getting to know everybody.
Awesome, and what are you wearing?
I am wearing my new IRL shawl
Ooh, in real life.
in real life.
Yourselves and your Instagram handles.
Okay, my name is Kim. My Instagram handle is Kim T Crafts, and that's my rivalry name as well. I'm wearing a summer long cardigan by Hohi.
Love it.
Hi, Katie Carroll. My Instagram is KatieFM02. And I'm also wearing the long cardigan by Hopi and Emma's Yarn, work in progress.
And what are you guys most excited about today at Rhinebeck?
Meeting everyone and getting some yarn for my next Rhinebeck sweater next year.
Ooh, awesome. Introduce yourself and your Instagram handle.
Hi, I'm Jen G. I don't know what it is.
Oh, it's okay, it's okay. And what are you wearing?
I'm wearing the astrological shawl.
Ooh, by KUWK. And where are you coming from?
South Portland, Maine.
Awesome. And what are you most looking forward to today?
All of it. I'm a newbie. It's my first time.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. Okay, everybody, introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Justine.
I'm Kimberly.
I'm Lori.
And where's everybody coming from?
Rhode Island.
Of course.
Rhode
And
Island and Skein Yarn Shop.
ooh, and what is everybody wearing for a knit?
I'm wearing an outfit glow.
I'm wearing the Audrey sweater by Kimberly McAlinden.
Lovely. And I'm wearing a Skein Yarn Shop t-shirt, but you can see my unfinished Tecumseh on our Instagram account.
Nice. And what are you all most excited about for today?
I really want to take a selfie with a sheep.
Nice.
I'm excited to meet all the knitters
Yeah.
Woo!
and crocheters and fiber artists.
Same. That's my favorite
I'm
part.
so excited.
My favorite part is just meeting up with everybody. It's just been so much fun. I love it. That's my
Awesome.
favorite part.
Okay, so at Woolen Folk, I stopped at the Lamb and Kid table. And if you're not familiar with Lamb and Kid, I suggest that you get familiar with them. They are a small yarn shop that has their own hand-dyed yarn line. And so at the festival, they were doing a lot of press and showcasing of their Big Birdie base. So this is their Big Birdie base. It is 79% baby alpaca and 21% silk. And it is an Aran weight yarn. So it's like a fluffy Cookie Monster Aran weight yarn. So here is the real tea about this situation. When I went to the booth, I have been like on this mint kick. I love the color mint. All of a sudden, I'm like obsessed with it. It's kind of like up there with yellow for me now, which everyone knows is like my all-time favorite color. But I got 5 skeins of this in mint. Now, I was very happy with my purchase. I was so excited to knit something, for myself in this like beautiful, beautiful yarn. And then after I had made my purchase, I had seen that Lamb and Kid, along with a designer who, I apologize, I am forgetting her name right now. But anyway, they collaborated on a pattern called the Wavy Gravy Wrap, which uses 5 different colors of the Big Birdie. So what I had done was bought 5 of the same color, which had me like so bummed out. But anyway, I just took a breather, and when I got home, I did what any sensible person would do. I ordered 4 more colors. So I'm gonna put these 4 mints down here, and I'm gonna show you the other colors. So we have this beautiful color, Chalet Chic, for the first color of the Wavy Gravy Wrap. Then I added in this beautiful gray cloud color, like seriously obsessed. This perfect little blush colorway called Paloma. It is the perfect like Valentine pink. And then I got the Sorbet colorway, and if you know me, this is like my dream color. It's like not yellow and not orange, but it's their little love child. I'm obsessed. And I knew I needed a pop, so I went with their Lobster colorway. It really is like glowing. So I am making my Wavy Gravy Wrap with these 5 colors. I'm so excited about this. I can't wait to wear this. I have a few whips to finish before I get to this, but like, wow, am I excited to knit this. Okay, so that aside, so the next thing that I wanted to shop for was the IRL shawl, in real life shawl by Casey Knits, KACEYKNITS, Casey Knits. I have been like such a fan of Casey's forever. Her pattern, the Perfectionist Trap shawl, is like one of my go-to gifting patterns, holiday gift patterns. I love knitting it for myself. It is like mindless and therapeutic. and really easy to spot your mistakes in. But anyway, the in real life shawl is like this like beautiful triangular shawl. It's made up of like eyelets and just like very, very simple ribbing and garter stitch. And you know I love an easy knit, but I just didn't feel like a variegated yarn would do this pattern justice. So I got a solid shade of yarn, and and when I saw this, so this is Hello Mellow hand spun. I got 3 skeins of their Aran weight. These are all like small batch, hand spun, hand dyed, and this yellow was just so beautiful. So I got 3 skeins for the in real life shawl, which I think is going to be my December, like my Christmas to New Year's knit. Every year I allow myself to knit like one thing when I have between Christmas and New Year's off from work. I just like constantly work on one project, and it's usually you know, like a time where I can really just like nest, I guess. But yeah, so the in real life shawl is what I am going to use, and in this yellow colorway. It's so good. Okay, so next, when I was at Cakepalooza, I ran into a dyer who I was unfamiliar with and who I'm now friends with, Fangirl Fibers. And Fangirl Fibers does like a lot of fandom inspired colorways, stitch markers, needle tip, you know, like needle, what are they called? Needle tip protectors? I'm not sure. But anyway, I got this set of needle tip. If you can't tell, that is Marie from the Aristocats. I am like obsessed. This package is too shiny for the camera. But I mean, look at her. Oh, you love to see it. So I got those needle stoppers, and I also got a set of her normal type Pokemon stitch markers. If any of you do not know, I am a huge fan of the Pokemon franchise, and when I saw that she was doing a Pokemon stitch marker line, I was like, excuse me, I need 500 of those. Okay, and next up, I wanted to show you a Notions pouch that I got that is hand printed from Krista Jackal, CristaJaeCkel. She makes like the most gorgeous hand printed bags, and this is the one I got. So it is like neon orange, and you can see this hand printed design on one side, and then these beautiful like ethereal little bubbles on the other side. It has a neon orange zipper, and I just could not say no to this. I have been looking for like a reliable Notions pouch for my like regular everyday bag, because it feels like I'm just bringing my knitting places more and more lately. And yeah, I just love it. It's like one of those things that you buy that you're just like, this is a one-of-a-kind piece, and yeah, I fell in love with it when I saw it. Last but certainly not least, when I was at the Hello Mellow hand spun table, I had asked them if the wall hangings that were decorating the booth were for sale, and I kind of expected them to say no. It didn't really feel like they were like out and available for customers, but they were. And so check this out. So this is a gorgeous wall hanging with neon pom-poms and beautiful braided cotton. I just absolutely fell in love with this. This is going to be hung right in my knitting office, and it's pretty long. And this was my one like splurge item. I had a very like, you know, meticulous list, but I could not pass this up when I saw it. It's like all my favorite colors. I honestly feel like it was kind of designed for me. So I'm very happy with this purchase. And every single year that I go to Sheep and Wool, I always end up at this one alpaca fiber booth where they make tiny individual, like handcrafted felted ornaments, and I believe their brand is called Lanart, like Lan Art. They're made in Peru, and I get the ornaments because I find that my Christmas tree prior to going to Rhinebeck was not as festive as I wanted. So now I get an ornament to kind of commemorate every year. But this year I got 3 of them. So first I got this little dog for our new puppy Fergie, who I'm sure you've seen over on my Instagram, and she will definitely be on this podcast at some point. But I got her, she's part beagle, and I just thought this little guy was so cute. Next for myself, I got the lime green T-Rex, obviously. He is just adorable. And for my partner Tom, they love cows and baby cows, and I got this sweet, sweet little moo cow. I love these ornaments. I love buying from small businesses, and anything handcrafted that I can decorate with for the holidays is always like top priority for me. After the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, my partner and I got the chance to visit their cousin. She runs an amazing farm up in upstate New York. And I can't really describe the beauty of it, so I'm just going to show you these video clips of walking around the farm. Can you imagine living here? So thank you, friends, again for joining us for the first ever episode of Keeping Up With Kenyarn, a fiber podcast hosted by myself, Jake Kenyon, owner of KUWK LLC. I am so excited for what is ahead, and I would absolutely love if you could like and subscribe to this video. I would also love if y'all had questions for me, just about like products or about my knitting preferences, or even about, me as a human. So drop them in the comments below, like and subscribe, and please do me the favor of sharing with your friends. I think you're gonna love what we have in store for you.